Okay, we are starting our fall season. We leave Friday and begin Sunday in Puerto Rico. And most of you know that we played pretty well in our spring season. We played pretty well in our fall season. So we're ranked number one in a couple of polls, had 2 wins. But the lessons I think we learned are that the way we putt is the way we score. Probably our best ball striking tournament was Vanderbilt, and we finished 6th. So, I think this team, number one, always has to keep that in mind, that short game is going to be the most important thing. We obviously are a little concerned about our preparation for this tournament just because it's been hard to get outside and get a lot of work on those little touch shots that we need to, because it's been cold and it's hard to feel your hands on the club. But, and being realistic, everybody else is in the same position going into this tournament. So, and frankly, we've always kind of been in this position going into this tournament, and we've won it twice in the last 3 years. So, hopefully, a little good weather and a good environment, and not having to go to class and run out there and play will do us some good. But I can't say how proud I am of this team, and everybody asked me, what are your secrets? And we went to the coaches convention this year. Everybody we saw, my assistant Susan and myself, were asked that question: what do you guys do? What are your secrets? Well, the secret is to recruit good players that have a passion for the game and come to work every day trying to improve on every shot. And my biggest problem is getting them to leave, not getting them out there. So I think any golf coach in the country or any coach in the country would love to have the issues we have.
Open up to questions.
What do you make of your number one rankings?
I'm sorry?
What do you make of your number one rankings? How do you handle that?
Well, I think hopefully we've got a good sport psychology structure in place where, and we're aware of that, don't get me wrong, but it's not like we really care. Number one, they don't hand out any trophies now. It's in May. Number two, our focus is and should be always on the next shot we hit. So, regardless of what we're ranked, regardless of our position in a tournament, I want our players to be concentrating on the next shot they got to hit. And the first tee shot in Puerto Rico is the only one that's really important to us right now. Everybody has a fair shot going into that tournament to do the same thing, whether you're ranked first or 100th. Hopefully it doesn't matter to us. And, I've been around this team enough to know that that's not a big deal and it doesn't affect their play whatsoever.
For both the golfers, without talking about the polls or the rankings or whatever, how good is this team? And how are you guys? You've seen what the best teams look like this year and in previous years. Is this team good enough to win a championship?
Definitely. By far, I would say, looking at other teams, I think LSU was right behind us. I would say that our team is, I guess, the most stacked through and through. We have a lot of depth. We don't rely heavily on, say, like 1 or 2 players. It takes 5 players to play well for a whole tournament, and we did really well of that throughout the fall. It's nice going out there and say, like, our 5th worst score was, say a 76 and stuff, and, we're counting 74s and betters, and that's what's going to win tournaments. So we don't have, if, one of our players doesn't make it to a tournament, we're still going to finish well. Whereas I think for some other teams, it might be a different case.
Will you say that question again?
Yeah, how good is this team? Is it good enough to win a championship?
I'm going to agree with Brooke. I think we have a great team, and I'm a senior, and as a freshman, I felt like we came to a tournament thinking and hoping that, I hope we're playing well this tournament, but now we're going into a tournament thinking we can win if we all play well, and we definitely have 5 really good players going into every tournament, and we definitely have a good team this year.
And if we don't win, it's it's not a disappointment, but that's what we want. So, and we're capable of.
How much competition is there on this team? How set is
Yeah, you know, and I get, recruits always ask us, how do you determine your team? And it just varies so much from year to year. This year, we have 5 players. I'll just be honest with you, we're gonna put them out there every time. They've been successful. No one has challenged them in the rounds we've played here. So, you know, depth-wise, outside of our top 5, we have none. But inside of our top 5, we have more than we've had in my 6 years here.
Is there a part of you that wants to see them really challenged to?
Well, you know, I think if we had any complacency on our team, there would be. But yeah, they're not going to respond to that any more than what they respond to now, which is their own self-motivation. And all 5 of the girls that are playing for us want to be the best. And if you have that, you don't need competition to push them. You know, and it's really important that, you know, we go out and play. They know they're not playing for a spot or a spot in the van to go to the tournament. But every time they go out there, they have a chance to get better and to get more used to shooting lower scores. And they're all very good at that and have a good mindset.
How meaningful was it to win that fall preview?
You know, winning on the course where they're going to play the championship, obviously has to give you some confidence. And setting the scoring record by 34 shots has to give you some confidence. But, you know, I think we've all got to be mindful of the fact that it's going to be windy there, which it wasn't when we played in the fall, that there are going to be more difficult hole locations, which they weren't in the fall. So it's going to be a different golf course, but, you know, we know where we can miss it and where we can't, obviously. And we have the time between September and the 3rd week in May to get better. So I think it's pretty meaningful. I have no idea what the record of the team winning the preview is in the national championship. But, you know, that's the great thing about this team. They don't care.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
To add on, I guess coming off of last year and finishing 3rd and being in contention to win the national championship, only being here a few years, was an amazing feeling, especially since it kind of put our name out there, and a lot of other coaches and teams, I guess, valued us and like really saw us as true competition. And, you know, starting off the season and having really reached our full potential against other players was great, and definitely a good building point off for the rest of the season. So to finally get that huge win under our belt after SECs, so.
Yeah, I think it feels great too. I feel like we've finally earned some respect out there. They know that Alabama women's golf are good, and, you know, they know that we're going to be competing for winning the tournament every time we go out there.